So that was an interesting one. Of course, they met in the Tokyo final 3 years ago, Tokyo 2020. De Groot winning 6-3, 7-6, a tight one. But prior to that, in Rio, they also met in a bronze medal match, and that was KAMIJI who took it 6-3, 6-3. So one way of looking at it is that KAMIJI won bronze 2 Paralympics ago, silver at the last Paralympics. Is she going to go bronze, silver, gold? Now, speaking of legends, here is the absolute greatest of all time of women's wheelchair tennis, Esther Vergeer. She won gold in Sydney 2000, Athens 2004, Beijing 2008, London 2012. An absolutely incredible player. Retired unbeaten after a 400-plus match, 470-match winning streak. She has given les trois coups, the 3 beats of the stick on the floor. It's what's done, has been done for centuries in French theatres. 5 minutes to go, 3 taps of a stick to say, ladies and gentlemen, take your seats. The entertainment is going to get underway. And it's absolutely wonderful to see Esther Vergeer here today.
It is, and she did that timing perfectly. I wouldn't have expected anything less from her. She did it perfectly, but it's great to see. We've seen some great champions, and we're going to see the first one come out now.
KAMIJI Yui, 30 years old, and the world #2. Any other time, I say any other time, any other era, and she would be by far and away #1. But obviously we've just seen Esther Vergeer, and so there have been some incredibly dominant players throughout the years. And speaking of dominant, here is Diede de Groot, a mere 27 years old. World #1, took over the #1 billing for the first time in March 2018 and has not relinquished it since June 2018. Looked for a while as if she was absolutely, completely and utterly unbeatable, and yet she's lost not once but twice this year, which for her is amazing, isn't it?
I know, but 2 times. I mean, she's won 167 of her last 169 tour matches. I mean, yes, and it was a shock when she lost, but, you know, I mean, you can't be perfect for all the time, right? So
it's nice to get the defeat out of the way every so often and think, right, okay, here come the Paralympics.
She's got to keep humble somewhat. Someone's got to humble her a little bit, and I think it keeps pushing her too, you know? I mean, you do, if you keep winning, I wouldn't know this, but if you keep winning, you're gonna get, exactly, you're not, it's almost like you don't have a lot to work towards, and if you know that you keep getting beaten, you know, here and there, 1 match out of 169, I mean, it's crazy to say, you know that you've got something to work on, and she's always trying to improve her game and get better every single day. Same for KAMIJI. KAMIJI's done a lot this last couple of years to really change her game. When I first came in the wheelchair world, just didn't really have anything to hurt De Groot, and she's really upped her game, looked to push forwards a little bit, will look to come in and be a little bit more aggressive.
No doubt as to whom those fans are supporting.
De Groot, right?
That's the one, yes. Yes, they're going to swap. They're going to unveil their orange livery any moment now. De Groot already ready for the toss of the coin. We're on the red dirt, the clay of Paris, and the orange of the Netherlands certainly matches that very well. KAMIJI making her weight. Making her wait a little longer. Off she goes, bit of a warm-up. Niels Fink. There is a Dutch player who is racking up the gold medals alongside De Groot. The quad gold medalist, as we hear from Thea Finke, who is going to be in the chair today. I'd say without further ado, but there is one last moment. So the toss was won by KAMIJI, and she has elected to receive.
Not abnormal in any way for any player to do that, especially in the wheelchair world. It's actually a little bit easier to break than it is to hold, and we'll go through the reasons why in a few minutes as we start talking through the match.
Lefty versus righty. That's the #1 and the #2 in the world. We've been saying they've met on 62 occasions already. 3/4 of those won by De Groot. The fact that she's beaten De Groot 16 times, well, that's, I know it's not, it's a lot of them were back in the day, as it were, but it's still, you know, the confidence will be there. Defeating her as well in Roehampton, so in their most recent meeting. And defeating De Groot in the doubles as well. That's perhaps
That's probably more meaningful and significant, quite honestly. I think De Groot would have been probably a little disappointed with the play yesterday, so that might get into her head a little bit more than the grass court tournament in Roehampton. De Groot's serve sometimes can let her down. She can go through a couple service games with throwing in the double faults. You will see her attack more. You're going to see KAMIJI defend. She will come, she has, as I said, she's changed her style though. She will come forwards when she can.
Will be an opposition of styles, yes. De Groot, as you can see at the top of your screen, sitting a lot taller in her chair.
Brings up a good point. The chairs, they're specifically designed for each player's needs. So you see De Groot standing up, sitting up for a little bit taller, as you said. The players do strap themselves in across the waist, across the knees usually, or the thighs, and then the feet. They try and become one with the chair. A lot goes into making the chair better for them. They're always tweaking the chair, just like they're tweaking their ground strokes and their speed and the strength. They're tweaking the chairs to get the most out of their chairs. So you'll see De Groot, as she is able to stand up and walk, she has a little bit more core strength, so she doesn't have to have the back support like KAMIJI does. But KAMIJI is super, super fast. She will get to a lot of balls, and De Groot will come forward and try and take the ball early. De Groot does not want to stay in too many long rallies with KAMIJI.
5-minute warm-up, as is customary in all forms of tennis. And the warm-up counts as 2 games in terms of changing the balls. So we will change the balls after 7 games as opposed to 9. This is the path that KAMIJI had through to the final. So pushed a little bit by Ksenia Chasteau in the second round, and then in particular there against Annick van Coot, who is the doubles partner of Diede de Groot. So it was a 3-setter there. Took a fair bit out of her.
Yes, KAMIJI's been on the court just about an hour and a half more than de Groot. Not that that's going to make too much difference through 8 days of play. They've both gotten enough rest, so they're going to both be fine as far as times on the court's concerned.
Yes, KAMIJI been out 5 hours and 25 minutes in total in the singles, as opposed to 4 hours more or less on the dot for de Groot. And in particular, it was a 2-hour semi-final against Van Colt. Battle of the lefties, and it was 6-love, 4-6, 6-4 in the end that KAMIJI managed to get through. De Groot, as we look at the tall service action that she has. 6-1, 6-love in the first round against Katarina Kruger. 6-love, 6-love, a double bagel against Mayan Zikri, and then pushed by Guo Luoyao. 7-6, a tiebreaker in the quarterfinal, 7-6, 6-3. That took an hour and 40 minutes, and then an easier time of it in the semi-finals against Wang Zhiying, 6-2, 6-1.
90 titres à son actif, dont 23 titres du Grand Chelem. Elle avait été aussi 9 fois championne du monde par équipe.
Then obviously the doubles final that they had, that they've also got, that will taken a fair bit out of them, and it was KAMIJI and her partner Tanaka Manami who ended up creeping through in that one. That was a long one, an epic, and it went to a match tiebreaker, and it was the number 2 seeds KAMIJI and Tanaka who defeated the number 1 seeds de Groot and Van Colt. So maybe a little bit of revenge in the air for de Groot. The defending champion. A rematch from Tokyo 2020, which was of course just 3 years ago at the Yoyogi Arena. 6-3, 7-6, that final.
KAMIJI Yui won the toss and elected to receive.
So as we have a look at Niels Fink, the men's quad singles champion. 3 tie-break sets, 3 full value sets. If we do go to a third set, then it will be a full-length third set. The tiebreakers will be first to 7, 2 points clear throughout.
If you're watching wheelchair tennis for the first time, the only rule difference that you'll notice straight away is that the players do get 2 bounces. Obviously, the first bounce has to land in the court, otherwise you don't need the second bounce because you've won the point. But you will see the 2 bounces used if needed, just for timing and for the pace, but a lot of times they won't use them, they'll just take the 1 bounce.
A lot of time fans in the stadium almost forget that you're allowed 2 bounces because the top players, and we are watching the top players here, take it on the first bounce. And fans will forget after 5 or 10 minutes of not seeing a second bounce, and they'll start gasping and start applauding and thinking, oh no, hang on, there's a second bounce allowed. So we are about to get the women's singles final in wheelchair tennis at Paris 2024 underway. De Groot to serve. First blood to KAMIJI, and as you can hear, there are line judges out there, so no electronic line calling. So yeah, Finke may well come down from the chair every so often just to point out a mark if necessary. How about that? That sat up nicely. Second service, just 115 kilometers per hour, but cross court straight into the corner.
It's really important for de Groot coming out not to get into her mind, which she can do with her serve. So I like the fact that she's taking a little bit off, putting the first serves in, even though she's 30-15 down. No free points yet for KAMIJI.
No free points. She's being made to work for them, but she's doing very well in working for them, and we have 2 break points already for the number 2 seed. Goes long, she only needs the 1, so it's a break of service to open. KAMIJI takes the first game.
KAMIJI did really well in that game when she had the opportunity, putting de Groot under pressure, not going for winners and big shots, but just going for heavy topspin and putting de Groot under pressure. And de Groot does not want to get into too many long rallies, because KAMIJI, that's really where her strength is. A lot of times we look at players and say, oh, they've got a big serve, they've got a big forehand, and sometimes we forget that consistency and speed is also a weapon, which is what KAMIJI has.
Yes, she'll be buzzing around that baseline, retrieving almost every ball. Unforced error there from de Groot. You can see KAMIJI way back. So obviously she was serving from the baseline, and then after that retreated, was allowing the 2 bounces. And she was way back behind the baseline.
That's typical de Groot right there, looking to use that forehand as much as she can. Good topspin, good heavy topspin, and that's where she's going to put a lot of pressure on KAMIJI if KAMIJI doesn't get the ball deep enough.
It's often said that the 3rd shot in any rally is the most important one, so after the service return, and perfect placement there by KAMIJI. Picked it up nicely on the half volley.
KAMIJI starting both these last points more off-center, out to the side. Slightly interesting move. Not necessarily on the left side, because that means she's going to go out wide for the slice, which she did, but definitely on the deuce side. Interestingly enough, the down-the-line return is so imperatively important in wheelchair tennis. Like you said, that 3rd ball, but a lot of times they're not able to get to that 3rd ball because after they serve, they cannot recover quick enough. And de Groot is actually going back to the same side that KAMIJI's on, and she's made a mistake, and she allowed KAMIJI to hit that winner.
Beautiful, and after a break to 15, it's a hold to 15. It was a good 2nd service, and then excellent backhand down the line there.
Yeah, but de Groot, again, hitting that return right to her instead of going down the line, like a higher, deeper ball down the line. So interesting that she's gone with that strategy for the first return game.
Thank you.
Matsumoto Kenji is the coach for KAMIJI. So de Groot finds herself under a little bit of pressure here. Love 2 down. That was a down the line for the win.
Great point from KAMIJI, exactly where she wants the group to be, that far back in the baseline.
They're probably going to go down as unforced errors from the GROOT, and there's been quite a few of them thus far in the early going, but they're being forced by KAMIJI.
Yeah, it's interesting how the data uses forced errors and unforced errors. It's really someone's judgment on whether or not it was a good enough shot. Like that right there, unforced error, didn't have a lot on it, had the ball right on a racket, should have been down as an unforced error, which it was. Beautiful play set up by the returner serve again from KAMIJI.
See a lovely whipped backhand. There was the first one.
Then took the second bounce just because she needed more time to get around the ball to be able to hit the forehand and create the angle.
How about that for a service return? She's reading the service incredibly well at the moment.
Not only is she reading it well, she's executing it so well, and just her placement on the return of serve is near perfection.
Another break point. Forced to go big on the second service. It's a double fault and it's a double break. KAMIJI leads 3 games to love.
Au tennis en fauteuil roulant, les joueurs disposent de fauteuils spécialement conçus pour eux. La balle peut rebondir jusqu'à 2 fois et le deuxième rebond peut aussi avoir lieu à l'extérieur du court.
Wheelchair tennis players have specially designed wheelchairs. The ball may bounce up to 2 times for the second bounce. May also take place outside of the court.
En 1982, la France est devenue le premier pays d'Europe à créer un programme de tennis en fauteuil roulant.
In 1982, France became the first country in Europe to create a wheelchair tennis program.
Two-minute break. 2-minute break for the GROOT to try to clear her mind, you would say. She has been broken twice. KAMIJI, the number 2 seed, leads 3 games to love.
That was a misjudged ball there from KAMIJI. I'm still intrigued why the GROOT is returning where she's returning. She's returning to the exact same side that KAMIJI's serving from, and probably needs to think about that and start going down the line on some returns.
I don't think she could quite hear you.
I don't think she could.
Say it a bit louder.
I don't know. Again, KAMIJI's doing obviously a good job with her serve. It's a good serve, but that ball's just landed, returns landing inside the service box, and she's not having to move. She's able to literally stay where she's at after she's serving. A little bit lucky there to GROOT. Same thing, their return, and KAMIJI got away with it.
It can be a good ploy in any form of tennis, hitting the ball straight back at your opponent, so they've got to dig it out. They haven't got room to swing at the ball, but you need to do it with depth if you're going to do that.
That's a better return right there. Even though she only had to do 1 push, she really had to change direction.
2 break back points. And there we go. Only needs the one. Down the line for the win, rather than straight back at KAMIJI. De Groot finally takes the advice from the commentary box, and he's on the board.
De Groot can be very in her own mind a lot of times. Like, her coach has worked on that with her over the years, and she's worked on it. But it is a confidence issue. Yesterday in doubles as well, that was a hard match for her. And I don't know if they went out and hit a few balls afterwards. They probably should have done, but she needed to get that out of her game and out of her head. See how she's trying to stay positive with herself there. It's always the thing they've been working on as well. It's like, it's okay, I'm still there. Beautiful point.
Longest rally of the contest so far.
De Groot really setting it up with this forehand. And KAMIJI did a great job there, but that's one of De Groot's finest shots, is being able to hit that down the line just with such good net clearance and the ball's hitting the ground and jumping.
Ball hitting the ground and jumping. Clay is the surface where topspin works the best. It's dusty, it's brick that has been crushed up. That's a lot of the surface, so particularly when it's warm and a little bit humid, then that upper layer of surface will grip the ball, and if it's spinning forward, then it spits up when it lands. Down the line for the win. It's the way to go.
You can see even the momentum swing after the confidence and how the confidence helps. You're almost seeing a different De Groot now than we did in the first 3 games.
Double fault. She won't mind that too much. She's got another point for a hold. You never want to serve a double fault. That's her second of the match.
Coach Amanda Hotman's looking on. That's the problem. Yes, it wasn't a problem serving the double fault at that time, but again, that's the confidence that gets in her mind. She gets a double fault, and sometimes she lets that get to her even more, and then you'll see a few more double faults coming out.
Well, you could see that on the second service there. It almost hit the chair without bouncing. And she's got room to hit through that forehand. It's a thing of beauty.
She's done a much better job. Those are the shots there that she's really worked on, KAMIJI, where she's really far back, but she's really accelerating the racket more and creating more options for herself from the defense to turn into offense.
Break points. Point for a 4-1 lead after De Groot was 40-15 up. It goes long, and she does indeed get the break back. KAMIJI, the #2 seed, leads 4 games to 1. Victory belongs to the most stubborn. That's what that says there. Actually translated on the other side of the stadium as the most tenacious. It's literally stubborn.
KAMIJI's played nearly a perfect 5 games here so far, been really aggressive when she's needed to. Again, she's really improved when she's far back. Before, the ball just used to go up with not a lot of spin on it. There wasn't much happening the other side of the court, but now she's putting a lot more racket speed on those balls.
4-1 KAMIJI.
Much better point from de Groot. If you see where they are on the court there, de Groot's closer to the baseline. KAMIJI's further back, and that's what we need de Groot to be doing if she needs to get back into the first set, sorry.
You can see that it's a very big court here. There's real space behind the baseline on court Philippe Chatrier. That one was a shortish first service, sat up nicely and was asking to be dispatched. It's tenacious on that side of the station, stadium, stubborn on the other side.
I like tenacious better than stubborn. Going down the line there, but if you saw a chair before she even hit that ball, it was facing way to the left, so really hard to hit it when she's facing away from the ball.
Yes, trying to get inside out on it, which obviously is more difficult in a chair. Hitting an off forehand. The 4 stands in this main stadium, named after the 4 players who won the Davis Cup for France between 1927 and 1932.
That was a good return, and really important point here for de Groot. She was up 30-love and then 2 unforced errors. Then a good return.
Both players looking a little nervous on service.
Net for serve.
Very nice. Notice that KAMIJI, after she served, was going to the other side, and de Groot did a good job of seeing that and being able to adjust where she was going to return.
Great camera angle that we had to watch that return of service. It was a very short service, so dispatched by de Groot, and she gets a break back. She needs a hold, though. Very much needs a hold. came in there, did KAMIJI. She was a long way back and then came towards the baseline, took that on the first bounce.
And she was just punishing KAMIJI de Groot's forehands there for 4 or 5 shots, and then took the opportunity to go down the line for the backhand. Really good forehand there. You notice in that rally too, de Groot, a lot of the balls she's hitting are through the baseline. So after the ball bounces, the first line it's crossing is the baseline. However, when she hits it through the singles line, so the first line it crosses is the singles line, she's opening up the court so much better, and that's when she plays her best, is when she can hit through the court, through the singles line, and open up the court.
Second serve.
Just out, so the service was just on the line, just in the service box. For a second service, it would have just clipped the line. Fortune favors the brave.
Thank you. Sorry.
The issue with this as well is KAMIJI's played so well in the first couple of games. Her problem is going to be keeping it up. She's got to keep being as aggressive as what she's being and keeping de Groot guessing where she's going, and that's going to be the difficult part for her.
No mistake this time from de Groot. She's 40-15 up, and this time she converts. KAMIJI still leads 4-3.
Les points de déconsigne pour les copieurs sont situés dans le point de restauration, fermeture du service de déconsigne 30 minutes à la fin de votre session.
Refund points for collected cups can be found at the food and beverage concession stand. Refund service will close 30 minutes after the end of your session.
Three KAMIJI.
It's been an unbelievable atmosphere here over the last 8 days. Unlike any other tennis tournament these players have played in. A little louder, a little more music, a little more dancing.
I think the fans as well don't realise just how efficient wheelchair tennis players are. Standing tennis, you've got, in every form of tennis, you have a 25-second service clock, and 9 times out of 10 in standing tennis, then the full 25 seconds is taken and the fans can have a bit of fun during that time. Not in wheelchair tennis. These players are into their service motion within 10 seconds every time. KAMIJI came in, took that one almost on the half volley on the rise.
KAMIJI doing a really good job of mixing that up, letting some of them back up to go on the second bounce and then coming forwards. KAMIJI did really good to get out of that ball, that backhand, and taking this backhand here, and she's playing that with her back facing away from the court.
Really had to dig that one out. It was almost in between her wheels.
GROOT just putting a little bit more on those balls as well when she's really far back in the court, and kind of feel her confidence coming back.
2 break points, this to make it 4-all. Beautiful, takes that one out of the air. Excellent slice, drop shot, and we are indeed level at 4-all.
This was beautiful. She read the drop shot really well. She didn't push in too much because she knew the higher ball was coming, and then able to just really open up the racket face, get under it, and realize where KAMIJI was on the court and not have to go deep. Beautiful volley.
4 apiece, we're back level. But the wind is very much in the sails of Diede de Groot. KAMIJI now being sent this way and that. It's good defensive tennis, but there's a limit to the amount of defense she can come up with.
That's okay, that's the right play. I mean, she was in total control of that rally. She was in the center of the court. KAMIJI's over on the right side, on the left side, and then she misses it just a little bit wide, but that was a confident miss, if that makes sense. It wasn't a tight miss, so that's an okay miss.
Very much the right idea, not quite the right execution, but there we go. Follow it up with an ace down the tee at 131 kilometers per hour, and all is forgiven.
And that shows where her confidence is too. The last one that she missed, where you think it was a double fault, she comes up with another double fault. That's the confidence. There, she missed it, but then comes up with the ace after. Say that, and then she double faults.
Well, should we say it was a better double fault than the last one? That one just failed to clip the line at the back of the service box. The previous double fault almost landed in the lap of KAMIJI. 30 all, though. And a good first service. So 2 good first services there from the juice court. The juice court, obviously, on the right-hand side. It's where you serve when it's juice. Left-hand side's the ad court, where you serve when it's advantage. So she's in the ad court now.
That's a beautiful backhand from so far back in the court, and KAMIJI just able to get underneath it, take the pace off, and roll up and across the ball. If you notice the grip right there, she is using a extreme semi-western forehand grip. So she uses and pushes a forehand, and then she'll take the same side, she'll turn over her hand, and she'll come up the back of the ball, which is a reverse backhand.
A lot more confidence on the service from de Groot. Admittedly, we've seen a double fault, but that's, I think, more because she's going for her shots on service. And a point here for a lead for her, something she has not had in this set.
De Groot was in control of that point again, but then the last couple of balls just could not get it out of the middle and got KAMIJI, even that one there, in control. She got to this one easily again through the middle of the court, and then it was KAMIJI able to control the backhand down the line.
Yeah, de Groot just hitting it straight down the middle, not enough depth. Too much depth on that service.
Beautiful hands there, really got caught. It was a great return by KAMIJI, but de Groot got caught, but was able just to take that ball off her body and just keep hands nice and soft.
4 all, we've been to a couple of juices. This first set has swung this way and that. Lost a little bit of patience there. Needed another rally ball. Back to juice yet again. She's serving really well from the ad court in this game. The juice court in this game.
Yeah, mixing it up. Took a little bit of pace off there. Went with the slice. Opening up the court.
Particularly against the left-hander. So once again, a point for a 5-4 lead for de Groot.
She just doesn't like that ad side, and KAMIJI doesn't like the do side.
Who's going to blink first? That was a nervous rally.
Was both players just going right up the middle, not wanting to go for too much.
Much more like it from De Groot, and she finally seals this game and finally takes a lead in this first set, 5-4.
Als je erin kan, ga je naar die voorkant. Zoals je daar kan, ja? Anders opbouwen naar die rechter.
Having a quick conversation there with her coach, was De Groot.
Coaching permitted throughout the match, as long as you're not putting the other player off. Now, KAMIJI has been in front for the entire set, almost, and then all of a sudden she finds herself serving to stay in the set. 4-5 down. That was almost a well, it was a serve and volley from KAMIJI. She found herself almost forced into it.
Good slice serve from KAMIJI, put a little bit more onto it, into the body.
Not a lot on that service, and De Groot said, thank you very much. All the time in the world just to, and all the space in the world just to put it down the line. Even over the highest part of the net, easy to get that up and over.
Nice play from KAMIJI, taking that one on the rise.
Really different play there, buzzing around the baseline. Coming around to take it on the forehand. And then on the rise, inside out, perfect. 30 all. That's the way to do it. If it's going to sit up there, then into the opposite corner, and that sets up a break point, which is also a set point for De Groot. Just been called out. I was wondering if the chair umpire was going to come down and verify it, but no need. And so the break point is taken, and De Groot takes the opening set, coming from behind to take it 6-4 in 42 minutes. A set of two halves. KAMIJI was 4-1 up, and then De Groot took that second set by the scruff of the neck.
Just out. could see kind of all the clay come up around all areas of the ball there. This, it doesn't really tell you too much here on the, it was really certain points in the important points where, as you said, tale of two sets where de Groot really struggled. De Groot really struggled in the first part of that set, but then really figured out her return of serves and her first serve in the second part of the set.
This is the first half of the set, obviously, when it was all KAMIJI. She was picking her spots absolutely beautifully, and de Groot seemed to be hitting the ball exactly where KAMIJI wanted it. Putting everything right in a wheel arch, either on forehand or backhand. And that was around the turning point. That was the de Groot who got a little bit more confidence and was in at the net there, and beautiful sliced backhand that died just over the net. She had her struggles on service, but even when she was struggling towards the end of the first set on service, she'd still got enough confidence in her arm, in her shoulder, to go for her shots. And there was the ultimate break point. (6-4) in 42 minutes. Quick break, a quick 2 minutes, and we're back underway again. It will once again be de Groot to get us underway.
De Groot to serve. Merci beaucoup.
That was sneaky.
How about that?
Beautiful. De Groot with the slice, and then KAMIJI's like, well, I'll just slice you back. She plays so well sometimes from, KAMIJI turns her chair very, very quickly. So a lot of times she's actually playing with her chair and her back facing away from the court. De Groot really feeling confident. You can just tell just by the way she's moving, the way she's hitting the ball. Got her confidence.
Yeah, if you're going to spin around and take your eye off the ball for a quarter of a second, I'm going to hit it past you. Tame double fault there. 5 in the first set from de Groot, none from KAMIJI. Well, these two are putting on a clinic. This is a wonderful start to the second set. Exhibition stuff.
KAMIJI thinking, I'll do the same thing again, but de Groot was ready. And once you hit that angle, it opens up other angles for you, which you saw de Groot take full advantage of that forehand cross-court angle. Interestingly enough, KAMIJI is 3-3 with breakpoint chances. So this is a breakpoint opportunity for KAMIJI in the second set.
And she may get 4 from 4. Yes, she can. Down the line. So both players are now 4 from 4 in breakpoint opportunities. So getting the second set underway. KAMIJI leads. What happened in the first set, of course? She broke to open and then held. But 2-love and ultimately 4-1. And it also puts an end to a run of 5 games in a row from Diede de Groot. Big service game, this one.
Both players trying to move in, take those balls early on the rise, and it was de Groot that came out on top that time. A little bit of the same with the first set, seeing somewhat of a repeat.
Yes, unforced errors from de Groot. And trying to force the issue on her first shot of the rally rather than the second or the third. Gets ready to come in on this second service. It's almost half-court tennis, that one, wasn't it? It was,
yeah.
I'll meet you at the net. Who's going to get there first?
Well, again, that's where KAMIJI doesn't have any time after her serve to push back, so she had to take it early. Saw in the first set, KAMIJI did really well when she's that far back, with really throwing it up with good rack acceleration. But to be consistently that far behind the baseline, it's almost like you've added another quarter of the court of the length that you've got to get it back up and over, and just slowing her racket head speed down a lot on that last backhand.
Break back point. First service seems to be slightly deserting KAMIJI here. And she does indeed break back. It looked to begin with as if it was going to be victory belongs to the more stubborn, because stubbornly de Groot hitting the ball straight back at KAMIJI, as she did a lot in the first half, and then going more for the cross court and being more tenacious.
I like tenacious. Probably been called both in my life, and I just take it a little bit more personally stubborn. I think
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I think
me.
stubborn's a little, yes. I don't know.
Yes. It's literally in French, it's opinion-ish is the word for stubborn, which is, yes, I've got my opinion and I'm sticking to it.
Great swinging volley there from KAMIJI. Coming in, swinging volley is just you're taking the ball out of the air, so volley is when you don't let the ball bounce. And it was not a traditional volley there with a short backswing. It was more of a larger backswing, and she was able just to almost just go straight forwards through it. Swinging volley.
caught a little bit in two minds there. Couldn't quite let it bounce for a second time, but it wasn't really there to be hit by De Groot. So all of a sudden she finds herself love 30 down. We've had an exchange of breaks at the start of this second set. Now that was there to be hit. That one was by De Groot, and she hit it into the net. She'd done the hard work to get back into the point, and she finds herself staring down 3 break points now. Ooh, that coulda, woulda, shoulda been a perfect way to seal the break there. Did everything right other than the execution of the last shot.
Yeah, it's good hustle here from De Groot, and KAMIJI just didn't really put enough on it, just came down a little bit too much.
Got a lot of court to hit into, but still 2 break points for him. Again, fortune favours the brave. There was a forehand from De Groot that must have clipped the outside of the line earlier on.
I think De Groot even thought it was out. She's kind of stayed there waiting for it, but she was able to turn it around beautifully.
2 break points saved. Will the third be the charm for KAMIJI? She's going to get a second service to look at. Will it be a nervous one?
Yes.
A hugely nervous one. It is a double fault. It's a break point, and KAMIJI leads 2 games to 1 in the second set, De Groot having taken the first. Stadium DJ goes from the sirtaki to pumping beats, to the delight of the fans. The stadium announcers and DJs have done an absolutely spectacular job of the entertainment at all of the venues throughout the Olympics and the Paralympics. And they're going to end with a bang. Which of these two is going to end with a bang? De Groot taking the first set 6-4. KAMIJI a break up in the second.
Wow, beautiful return there from De Groot. If you watch how she returns, it's like, I actually love the way she returns. She's pushing forwards, right? She's like a sprinter ready to go. So she's leaning forwards. She'll take a big push forwards, if not 2. So her body's in motion, and then she's able to move the chair as needed.
Cleverly targeting the body there of KAMIJI.
So normally when you're standing playing tennis, you start back maybe a few steps, and then as your opponent tosses the ball, you're moving forward, split stepping, stopping, and then going whichever direction you need to go. Obviously, the players can't do that, so they'll keep their chair in motion and then move.
Well, in the blink of an eye, it's love 40. Confident whipped forehand. Cross court back where KAMIJI had just come from. It was a little bit of a late call, but it was indeed long. Misses the baseline, and it's a break to love.
Both players struggling on their serve, and you look at KAMIJI, second set, she's at 60% of first serves in, but only winning 17% of those. So she's actually winning more points on the second serve than she is on the first serve.
Who will be the first one to hold in this set? The Groot's turn to be a long way behind the baseline. You can see the extent of court that you've got there here on Philippe Chatrier. Probably the biggest runoff area of any court, or any show court in the world.
Yeah, beautiful backhand down the line from de Groot. Again, using that reverse backhand, staying nice and closed when she hits it. Take a look here. Shoulders down, stays with the ball, doesn't rotate too early.
Again, the right kind of mistake to make. Going for the shots, it was there to be hit, went just wide. Body language of the two players, it's quite easy to see there as we focused on KAMIJI as she came back, berating herself softly, whereas the Groot now all business, busying herself around the court. 2 points for a hold.
Important game here for both players. Will be the first hold that we have in the second set. De Groot is to hold.
Paints the line.
Advantage, KAMIJI.
Third double fault of the second set already. 8th of the match for De Groot. It wasn't a confident double fault, it was a nervous one. Break point, KAMIJI.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Enough depth that time, got it off the middle. Just struggling. When she gets it off the middle, she's winning the point so much easier. But sometimes that is a timing issue. Your timing could just be off, and it's safer to go through the baseline.
She had to grow in confidence during that point. She was incredibly nervous. After a double fault, she got a lucky net cord there. Back to deuce, though. Well, this is as good as a mile. That was a mile long. Couple of double faults in this game. This time it's the deuce court that isn't suiting her on service. And it is another break. 5 breaks of service in a row. KAMIJI leads 3-2 in the second set.
Poursuivez la fête grâce à la carte des jeux disponible sur l'application officielle de Paris 2024.
Keep the celebrations going with the games map. Available on the official Paris 2024 app.
Retrouvez au salon de stand de restauration un large choix de produits gourmands responsables ainsi qu'une sélection de boissons fraîches.
Our food and beverage concessions offer a wide choice of tasty and sustainable options as well as a selection of cold beverages.
5 breaks of service. Who will be the first to hold? Will it be KAMIJI? It looked like it could have been De Groot. That was a low ball toss from KAMIJI, and De Groot dispatched it by the time it got over the net.
Just very up and down from De Groot. You see a great return of serve. Yeah, the first serve wasn't great. The serve wasn't great from KAMIJI, but good to start off the game. But then the backhand just in basically the bottom of the net, and that's just pure confidence.
Beautifully put away to begin with. It was a baseline rally for the purists. There were times when we couldn't even see KAMIJI on our camera angle, but then in she came and then down the line. Beautiful depth as well.
That's the point where de Groot did go through with the slice, but just not enough on it.
Oh, that one, yes, she's going to check that is KAMIJI. Hit the line. And Teafingka has shown exactly where it hit the line. There's the signs, the flat palm down, meaning in, the finger up, meaning out.
This is where electronic line calling does come in handy. Sometimes they select the wrong, I'm not saying that was, but sometimes it's selected the wrong ball. So you can say, well, you don't need it on the clay, but it's the ball. Which one is it?
Tough for KAMIJI because you know that de Groot will play herself back into some form and back into some confidence, because she has done it year after year, tournament after tournament, Grand Slam after Grand Slam. And she's got a break-back point here. And there she is, playing herself back into a little bit of form. We are back level once again, 6 breaks of service in a row.
Again, de Groot doing a much better job in that rally, getting the ball out of the middle. If she's going to go the middle, she has to go deeper. Some of the balls that she's going through the middle are just way too short, kind of no man's land. Needs to get deeper. So she needs to go a little bit wider, which she did there.
New balls shown briefly by de Groot to KAMIJI. New balls, brand new, so they'll be less fluffy because they haven't been hit at all, so they will fly through the air more quickly. That's one way to fluff them up, though. 2 into the net. Double fault, number 10 for de Groot, number 5 in this set already. Well, you can take as long as you like on the second service. There's no service clock there. She took a long time, but it sat up nicely. Love 30. Great defense from de Groot.
When she's pushed super wide on that backhand like she was the shot before, backhand always does a good job of going high and deep down the line, trying to reset.
Love 30, back to 30 all.
Still so tight on that second serve, the racket. A lot of times what happens when you get so tight too, your racket head acceleration just slows down and you just cannot swing too fast on it.
A point for a 7th break in a row. Well, to begin with, both players keeping it low over the net, but KAMIJI's turn to get a little bit nervous. Juice. I'd say that if de Groot holds here, she's been let off the hook. She's going to have to get some first services in if she is going to hold, though, you would have thought.
Good shot from KAMIJI, but again, de Groot had it right on a racket, just not doing enough with that third shot that you said so important.
Another break point for KAMIJI. It's gone long, and we do indeed have another break, a seventh break of service, and KAMIJI leads 4-3 in the second set. Johan Cruijff on those Dutch soccer shirts. A legend of the game he was. I think there's a Dennis Bergkamp jersey in there as well. KAMIJI leading 4-3. 7 breaks of service. Who's going to get the magic hold? Well, stakes are incredibly high. Both players are succumbing a little bit to nerves, and there was just no depth on any of the shots there from de Groot.
The other thing where de Groot has really, in this match so far, made some unforced errors that she doesn't, is on the wider forehand. She's kind of got her chair turned away, and she's coming across the court. She's gone deep quite a bit. She's landed the ball long.
That was cleverly done. Nicely inside out, good chair position. I think she was more forced into it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure she meant to do that, but she made the best out of it from where she was so far, having to reach for the ball. The down the line return that
Go back to the well.
done her so well so far. When she's been able to execute that down the line return, she almost hasn't had to hit another shot. And when I say down the line, literally straight down the line, not coming towards the middle.
Decent patience there. There were a couple of shots that a couple of times that it probably wasn't the ideal moment to try to go down the line, so she hit the ball back with a lot of depth, and then when it was time to strike, she did it.
And I like the fact, because those are the forehands cross sort she's missed long, so I like the fact that she changed it up and went down the line on that.
2 break back points. One of them saved.
What a time to come up with a serve like that. It's one of the best serves she's hit so far. Took the pace off and huge amount of slice.
Gutsy move at break point down, but beautifully executed. Back to deuce. What a drop shot from way behind the baseline, almost in the photographer pits.
I'm not sure she meant to hit a drop shot as opposed to just like slice it. Maybe she did.
Either way it worked. She was coming forwards and backwards a lot there, De Groot. She found herself in no man's land. So a point for a hold, and what a huge hold it would be.
The GROOT lucky to get away with that return there.
It's going to sail wide.
Now that was down the middle, but it was like a foot inside the baseline, so much better depth on that return.
Another break back point. Ooh, another slice service going out wide to De Groot's backhand. She almost put it away.
But good call from KAMIJI doing it again. That's 2 forced errors, I would say, but she should probably keep doing that until De Groot gets more comfortable.
Just long. KAMIJI now with a point for a 5-3 lead. With the slice service out wide again. Oh, it's an ace. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it certainly isn't broke there. 5-3, she leads, a huge hold.
And what a time to come up with your first ace.
What an ace it was. You expect aces to clip the back of the service box at a push down the tee, but there, out wide into the singles line. So De Groot finds herself serving to stay in the second set. And kicks us off with double fault number 7 in the set, number 12 in the match. And you wonder which de Groot is going to turn up in this game. Is it going to be the nervous one? Can she play herself back into some sort of confidence? A nervous start.
Even though she won that point, you can still feel the tension and see the tension in her arm. Racket is not loose, her arms are not loose. When she's hitting it, it's almost like she's guiding the forehand as opposed to just letting it rip and really come over the top of the ball.
Serve in this second set's been a toss of a coin, 17 of them in, 15 of them out. That one there was a yard long.
And when de Groot, it's not like she has a really big first serve where she's winning a lot of points on it. So I would say take a little bit off the first serve to hit a second serve, but she doesn't have that much difference between the two serves. She did there, put a little bit more spin on it.
And it was returned with interest. 2 break points, 2 set points.
Thank you.
A huge double fault, number 9 of the set, number 14 of the match, seals it. KAMIJI takes the second set 6-3 in 43 minutes.
We look at the set stats. They're at the beginning, like halfway through, de Groot's unforced errors were they were like 7. She was playing a very clean first set, and then really from 2-2, that's when we saw a lot of the unforced errors and the tightness come back. So it'll be interesting in this set to see whether, I think KAMIJI stays the same regardless. She's pretty level, and it's really de Groot that's going up and then down.
51 and 19, the big stats there. 51% of first services in, and then 19 unforced errors from de Groot. When she's on, she's on. When she's good, she's very, very good. She's the little girl with a little curl. It's been a very up and down performance from her. You'd say, obviously, she's the world #1. She's the one with 23 Grand Slams to her name, who, when she gets on a roll, is unbeatable. But in that second set, even the points she was winning, almost out there, almost an unforced error, and she ends up winning the point here. And then such a lack of confidence in the end, particularly on service. And that's obviously an incredibly crucial part of the game. That's how it was sealed for KAMIJI. So KAMIJI, does she just ride it out and think my opponent's really in a funk?
She's going to think that. I don't know whether funk, but I think she's going to be like, she's tight, right? She knows that they've played each other so many times, and she's the one that just always stays level across the board. So as I said, I think we can see de Groot gone away for a second. It's good for her to get away for a second, go change, go just get her mind off of things and try and relax a little bit. And we'll see whether really de Groot, we know what we're going to expect from KAMIJI, but what are we going to expect from de Groot in this third and final set?
Back out very quickly. No messing around, no Stefanos Tsitsipas long changes of shorts that go on for 7 minutes. Let's go Nippon. Japan's KAMIJI Yui, having taken the second set, taken us to a third set. A reminder that it is a full-length third set. First to 6, 2 games clear, and if we get a tiebreaker, it will be a regulation tiebreaker. First to 7, 2 points clear. There's the Dutch fans. They're happy enough. Regardless of whether you are from France, from the Netherlands, from Japan, everybody likes ABBA. KAMIJI to get us underway in this third and final set with a gold medal at the Paris 2024 Paralympics on the line. Can she keep the roll going? It's a different Diede. I know it's only 1 point.
It's very easy when you're sitting here watching. You can kind of see the game as a whole, the match as a whole. You can see kind of their reactions because we've got up close and personal with that. But when you're actually in the moment, obviously that's the hardest thing to do. And see whether de Groot realizes what she just did with those return of serves. And that's now 3 return of serves down the line for winners.
Three break points to open up. And 3 service return winners.
Second serve.
Four services, 4 service return winners. De Groot gets back in front. A break to love.
That was a very confident game.
Well, we've seen it throughout her career. Jekyll and Hyde. Dr. Diede and Miss de Groot, which one's going to come out? And we had Miss de Groot in the second, throughout the second set. She never looked comfortable in the second set, even when she was breaking service. And there, disdainfully hitting 4 service return winners. The acid test is going to be now on service.
Couldn't agree more. That serve is still looking really tight. It's almost like when you get into that, like it's the yips. That's what we call it in tennis. You kind of get the yips on your serve. You almost need to just take 1 serve and just serve as hard as you can just to get it out and just relax your arm a little bit.
15 double faults, 5 in the first, 9 in the second, and 1 already in the third. The ball toss is now going awry. Never a good sign. You get one over, and then your opponent says, go back and fetch that one.
But at least you want to make them play. That's she's got to take that as a positive. Okay, at least I got it in. At least I'm asking the question. And both players returning. I mean, talk about de Groot's returns. KAMIJI's done really well on her return of serves, been really aggressive.
She's only hit 2 service return winners. Obviously, she could only hit 2 because the first one was a double fault. But, yep, sun out. I think the ball toss a little bit, but it's more the confidence, the mentality that's affecting the ball toss.
Beautiful forehand, cross court, through the singles line.
One break point saved. There was no depth on any of the shots from the Groot. You can tell how nervous she is. But it's a point on service. Can she build on that? Three times she's aborted the ball toss. Just long. 2 break points saved. Applause from the crowd. It's all going to help to build up a little bit of confidence for de Groot, who is so lacking in it on service. Still a 3rd break point, though. And KAMIJI breaks straight back.
It's interesting. The crowd hasn't gotten as much into it as I thought they would have done, as in like trying to get de Groot or KAMIJI, whichever one, a little bit more like involved, and they're a little bit quiet.
So the high stakes and the nerves being shown by the players, in particular de Groot, has probably permeated the crowd. And if one player, again, you would think it would be de Groot, can really take the match by the scruff of the neck, then that will drag the crowd with it. KAMIJI could do the same, though.
KAMIJI totally controlling the middle of the court. And now you see de Groot out of the camera's view of having to defend.
It did look very well. It looked like it clipped the baseline.
Players do have to call that immediately. So sometimes when the chair umpire does not come out, you might be thinking, why didn't they come out? It's because the player took too long to say, hey, I want you to come out.
Yes, the chair umpires say that to begin with. If you want to dispute a call, then do it before you play your shot. Making it a pretty big gamble if you're pulling out of your shot.
Second serve.
You could hear the effort being put in by KAMIJI, both from the player and from her chair. Digging a furrow almost along the baseline, but her hard work pays off.
like that return of serve. Again, the ball outside the middle of the court.
The throat going way back, very much on the defensive and not hitting the depth.
And that's where we've seen her make a lot of it's a forced error, though, consider that a forced error, but off that wide forehand, the cross court, she's been making a lot of mistakes on that one.
Point for a hold, and she goes back to the well on that slice service from the ad court. Doesn't quite come off. It's long, the Groot snatches at it, and it's a huge hold for KAMIJI, who leads 2-1 in the final set.
Wheelchair tennis tour is a global circuit of over 160 tournaments each year, with a total prize money reaching $5.6 million.
Ces événements sont organisés dans plus de 40 pays sur 6 continents. La participation s'élève à environ 1000 joueurs par an.
The events are staged in more than 40 countries across 6 continents, involving approximately 1,000 players per year.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats.
Final set. KAMIJI Yui comes back. She was a set down. She's now 2-1 up. She has held service. The Groot did not hold service in the second set. She needs to hold it now. And even when she gets a good first service in, there we go, gets dispatched.
But that's the confidence now of KAMIJI. She's just stayed, and that was a really good serve, but KAMIJI's done so well on the return of serves. That's not going to help the confidence of de Groot.
KAMIJI again back in the photographer pits, but it's a ploy that's working. Love 30. Nervous times for the defending champion.
Much better hit from de Groot there, still getting the ball right up the middle, but with a little bit more on it, a little bit more racket head speed.
3 first services in as well. Well, the tape was her friend there to begin with, de Groot, but it sat up nicely for someone as good as KAMIJI to position her chair, take it inside out, put that one away. 2 break points. That was there to be put away by De Groot, but she couldn't. That's a measure of how nervous she is. KAMIJI is fired up. She leads 3-1.
You can see how important that game was for KAMIJI just by her come on right there. She knows she needed that game. And she can feel this win right now. Totally the confidence in her has changed. We've talked about her staying pretty emotionally level as well as her play, but right now you can just see a little bit of an uptick in her emotion and play.
The lights are on. Cloud cover outside. KAMIJI getting everything back at the moment. She is a wall.
Remember we talked about that as one of the weapons at the beginning. Sometimes it's almost like a silent weapon, your consistency and your speed. She's showing us that right now.
Concern on the face of Amanda Hopmans.
Good point from De Groot. I like the way that she changed that up, throwing in the drop shot there. Maybe getting the crowd on her side, getting them a little bit excited to try and get her pumped up.
It's usually the shot of a confident player, the drop shot, so pulling that one out when you really have got your back to the wall. Big play by De Groot.
Lovely, beautiful forehand angle from De Groot. Serve only 102 kilometers per hour, but lots of spin on it and right into the body of De Groot.
A break back point for De Groot. This would get it back on service, but she hasn't held service in a good long while, so it's the least she needs to do. But she does it, and De Groot is staying alive. KAMIJI, though, leads 3-2 in the final set.
Description of the live commentary service available once you log into the official Road 2024 app.
Time.
KAMIJI leads 3-2, so it's back on service. A reminder that de Groot did not hold service throughout the second set. She's served 15 double faults so far, just one in this set. Make that 2.
Talking a little bit on the changeover about de Groot and her with her match wins and winning so many matches so easily. She doesn't really have an opportunity to actually learn to play from behind. So interesting to see how she's doing here.
Well, that's the simple recipe, a good service and a good third shot of the rally. Easier said than done, though, particularly when your service has deserted you. It's never been a huge weapon for her, but it's been very inconsistent today.
One of the longer rallies, and we've seen KAMIJI coming out usually on top of those rallies, but it was KAMIJI with the unforced error.
She looked exhausted by the end of it. She was taking a lot of things on her forehand, so making an extra push to go around and take the ball on her forehand. Well, whisper it quietly, but de Groot has a point for a hold of service. And she takes it. We are back level at 3-all.
I mean, what a rally to start with, and then what a forehand from the center of the court, hitting inside out, hitting the topspin, being able to create that angle and just get over the top of it. Unbelievable angle from there. And what a time to hold your serve.
1-all, 3-all. One hold of service all in this final set. Reminder that if we get to 6-all, then we will have a tiebreaker first to 7, 2 points clear. Fascinating to see how this match has gone this way and that. Who's been the hunter? Who's been the hunted? Who's letting the pressure get to them?
Both these players have so much experience in Grand Slam finals and gold medal matches that, you know, yes, it's pressure. They both get nervous, but both handling it like true champions.
The stakes could not be higher. Paralympic gold medal awaits. These two players are just 3 games away from Paralympic gold. De Groot is the defending champion. She wants to hold on to that gold medal. KAMIJI, bronze in Rio, silver in Tokyo. She's saying it's my turn now. A genuine apology, a genuine punter after sorry mate. She chipped that. Did it go? Did her racket go against a wheel as well? I think ended up being the greatest drop shot ever played.
When against her front 2 tires at the front, the wheels at the front there.
Well, is that going to be a turning point? We've had plenty of turning points. Is that going to put? Well, it's made it 1-1. 3-3, 30-30. Both players 10 points away from Paralympic gold. Is the match going to turn on that moment of accidental yet utter brilliance? 40-30. Every hold of service is going to be huge in this final set.
And as you said, 1-set-all, 3-all, 30-all. It was actually 83 points to 82 for de Groot, and now we're at 83 points each in the match.
Well, the only point that's going to matter is going to be the last one of this match. And it's anybody's guess as to who's going to win it. 4-3. It is a huge hold in the context of this final set. The number 2 seed gets a nose in front. Highway to hell. Well, one of these two players is on a highway to gold. At the moment, slightly ahead in the overtaking lane of that highway is KAMIJI Yui, 4-3 up. KAMIJI going the extra mile. She's moving around to take a lot of things on her forehand, which is going to take a lot out of her, but she knows that she's now only 7 points away from Paralympic gold. confirmed that that was out by chair umpire Tea Finca, who has a very good view from up there. And that one was flush on the line. Beautiful camera work to show how perfect that shot was.
KAMIJI has just played so well with that return of serve. We said at the beginning that the group did not want to get in the long rallies, which they did in the beginning, in the very, very first point of this game. And then KAMIJI has just been impeccable on her return of serves.
Perfect chair position, inside out forehand, 3 break points. Service fault, an aborted ball toss. And a get out of jail free card. 1 break point saved.
Still so much pressure on de Groot though here. 2 more break point opportunities for KAMIJI.
No one's been more than 1 game ahead in this set. But that's just changed. KAMIJI 5-3. She will now serve for the match for Paralympic gold. Everything going wrong for de Groot. Almost colliding there with one of the ball kids. The crowd sensing it. The number 2 seed looking to be the number 1 at the Paralympics. G's herself up, settles in, serving for the title. She only needs 4 points, and there's one of them, and she is going to celebrate every single one of them until she gets there.
Just reading some of her quotes from the other day, saying that when she played her first Paralympics, she thought it was going to be the only one that she ever played, and now being 3 points away from a possible gold medal. I would actually really like to know the stats of when de Groot has gone down the line on the return, what her percentage of points is that she's winning. Because I want to say it's probably like 80% of the points that she's winning when she goes down the line on that return of serve.
'81.
maybe 83, something like that.
It was 80, it's 81 now.
Yeah, math's not my thing, so I was just educated guess here.
If it is 81%, de Groot would like to make it 82 after this point and 83 after the next one. Can she stay alive and put it back on her own racket? (82%). I don't know if those are the stats, but let's roll with them.
Let's go with it.
2 break-back points.
See the spin on that ball too? That's where she's just relaxed as well. Now she's almost got nothing to lose. Except a gold medal. I understand that, but
It feels lost at the moment. Trying to do the service out wide to de Groot's backhand. De Groot poised to come in. Good service, but a better put away. It's a break back. She's still alive. De Groot breaks back, but KAMIJI leads 5-4 in the final set. Time called, big smiles on the faces of a lot of the Netherlands fans in the crowd, nerves from the Japanese fans. There's going to be a lot of nerves from both players. De Groot, it's back on service is one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is that De Groot is now serving to stay alive. Can she get the hold she needs to push this match even further?
Not with returns like that. KAMIJI just impeccable. KAMIJI really been in the shadows of de Groot for so many years now, as we see with the head-to-head and win-losses, and she feels it. She feels that she can maybe come out of the shadows.
Down the line's the recipe, and it was working. De Groot goes cross-court, puts it into the lowest part of the net. Love 30.
Thank you.
KAMIJI 2 points away. Pump of the fist from KAMIJI there. It's a great return, and it sets up 3 gold medal points.
Thank you very much. Players are ready. Thank you.
There's one of them saved, and it lands flush on the line.
De Groot hitting out in that rally.
Thank you. Please.
It ends long on a double fault. And KAMIJI is the Paralympic champion 2024. She has defeated the seemingly undefeatable Diede de Groot 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 in 2 hours and 8 minutes. De Groot already round the other side of the net in what is an absolutely wonderful display of magnanimity and sporting spirit. KAMIJI in tears. She is the Paralympic champion in the women's wheelchair tennis singles.
What a feat for her, as you said, in the shadows for so long. Thought that her first Olympics was going to be her last Olympics. Didn't realize what a career she was going to have. And for her to come out now with 2 gold medals in these Olympics here at Paralympics is just unbelievable. Her whole team overcome with total emotion.
Tears all round, but tears of the best kind. A hug from everyone in the entourage. No one able to hold back their emotions. The same applies to Diede de Groot, the world #1. who loses her title on a double fault as well.
And all the other Japanese players too, just so emotional. Mom and Dad.
Well, the contrasting emotions of the very end of a Paralympic final, the utter despair for Diede de Groot, inconsolable in the arms of her parents. KAMIJI Yui with a Japanese flag around her, ready for a lap of honor, one that de Groot does not want to look at, and you can understand why. The disappointment of 2 Paralympic finals lost in the space of 24 hours. 2 of them won for KAMIJI Yui. The triumph and the tragedy.
Amazing moment for KAMIJI, and you do have to feel for de Groot, such a unbelievable champion, unbelievable record, 3 matches lost in 169. I mean, it's unbelievable what de Groot has done and what de Groot will continue to do for the sport.
Well, unforced errors, twice as many from de Groot as from KAMIJI. Almost twice as many winners, but they didn't quite cancel one another out. And then if you look at the double fault, 17 double faults. That is 4 games given away. And it was emblematic of the match that it should finish on a double fault. There we have the full rundown of this women's wheelchair tennis singles competition. Now, how about this for souvenirs? A double Paralympic champion is going to autograph these balls and send them into the crowd. Overcome with emotion, having won her 2nd Paralympic gold medal in the space of 24 hours. And also for her in the singles, bronze 8 years ago, silver 3 years ago, and gold right now. Crowd on Philippe Chatrier Court rising to acclaim the champion.
What great resiliency as well from KAMIJI that we saw, all those losses to de Groot.
Merci beaucoup in the heart. How about that? Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much indeed. What a performance from her. As you say, all those defeats to de Groot, but if you're going to pick one day to win on, then today was the day.
It certainly was, and her defense was phenomenal, and her returns were the other part of the game that were just phenomenal too. We saw there.
That, unfortunately, was a highlight of everything that seemed to go wrong with the world #1's game today. You can't have 17 double faults in a final and expect to win it when you're up against someone who has been pushing you so hard for so long. Incredible sporting spirit from Diede de Groot. She'll be back